All right. So we're abseiling down the side of this castle in the clouds
Yes.
as the gargoyles are coming back, presumably this same direction to bring the two remaining orcs that they've taken captive.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Lower
So
myself down to the level of the window and have a look inside.
yes. So now that we're no longer in combat and I have my notes in front of me, I can give you a bit more detail about this castle.
Oh, cool.
It is a truly massive edifice. In fact, I got the size of the door wrong.
Oh, how big is the door?
The door itself is at least 25 feet tall.
Okay.
Which probably means that knob for the door was probably closer to 12 feet off the ground, so probably twice as tall as we are.
Uh-huh.
Its high stone walls are old, however, they are a result of master craftsmanship, and though old, they are still well maintained.
All right.
And we are lowering ourselves down to this window.
As I'm lowering myself down to the window,
Yep.
I can search my brain for creatures that would need a door and are roughly humanoid shape. And the door is 25 feet tall.
And intelligent.
Yeah, and intelligent enough to make a door in the first place.
Yes.
And I must be really, really motivated because that is a 26.
Well, we've encountered giants in our travels.
Yes, we have.
We've encountered the family of friendly stone giants in the outskirts of Lyria.
Yep.
On our way to Vern's Run originally, we encountered a hill giant, which had been taken over by some sort of parasitic creature when we were traveling through the forests.
Hmm.
However, neither of those creatures come to mind here.
No.
However, the venue, the location of this castle and its location does bring to mind a specific type of giant, and that
Yeah,
is indeed a cloud giant is the most likely occupant of this castle.
that could be bad.
So cloud giants are very tall.
Yes.
They are taller than hill giants and indeed taller than the stone giants we've encountered.
Yep.
With that roll, you know a few other things about them.
Yeah. We're in big doo doo.
They are exceptionally powerful and strong,
Yep.
being uh, well, massive creatures. They are well over 20 feet tall.
Yep.
Uh, they are perceptive and intelligent, and they have an exceptionally strong sense of smell.
I checked my armpits. Do I stink?
However, in addition to this, they are one of the races of giant which possess innate magical abilities,
Okay.
and uh, and they can do a variety of things like conjure fog. They can fly themselves by magical means,
Yep.
and the same means as the spell. And one of the things that they can do, one of the strongest spells they can do, is they can control the weather,
Yep.
which would be ideal for controlling this type of mobile castle in the clouds.
Yep. All right.
And based on what we've seen so far, we're probably dealing with a cloud giant who has gone to great lengths to master some of its innate magical abilities. Because,
Yeah. It does look like someone who's been at this for a while.
yeah. Also, we do know the fact that cloud giants tend to be exist in this almost dichotomy of alignments. Basically, it was a great war a long time ago that they were involved in, and their entire species was split down the middle. Half of them tend towards being benevolent, and the other half tend towards the opposite.
They tend to pick up wandering strangers in their tractor beam rain cloud and torture them to death.
Well, they're not the nicest. Well, half of them are not the nicest creatures. The other half can be quite benevolent.
All right. Let's go find out what our host is.
Well, we can hear the laughter, what we assume is now this cloud giant, as we assume we're going in by the window because we're going to have some gargoyles coming pretty soon, probably.
Yeah. I'm going to slide down on our magic rope
Yep.
until I come level of the window and I want to look in.
All right.
And we're
We can
gonna
move
need
ahead to the next image
no
to take
dex
a
check
look.
on this.
Dexterity? Sure. Use a dexterity check.
All right.
All right. So we are going to be in coming in one of the windows by the far north wall here.
Up here.
Yeah, by there.
Okay.
All right. So dexterity check to maintain grip on the rope. Well, that's a natural 20 for me.
I got a 21.
So we're both fine.
Yeah.
We're pretty comfortable with this magical rope now.
So,
So I am above you and you're looking in through the window, which is open.
and what do I see?
All right. Well, there is a large open room in here,
Yep.
which seems to be part kitchen, which is where the area we're coming in by the way,
Yep.
and part living area.
I see a bunch of cages. Or do I?
No, you don't. There are doors closed in various rooms, so
Yep.
we can only see in this large open area, and only,
All this stuff here.
yeah.
Okay. Is there indeed a cloud giant in here?
There is indeed a very large humanoid creature, but
Yep.
not within the proportions of a human. And he sat in that chair there at that desk
Yep.
and is looking into something that is on the table there.
Can I see what that something is?
Not from this angle, unfortunately. He's blocking the view. So I'll give you a bit of a description of this guy.
Okay.
He's massive. He's over 20 feet tall.
Yep.
He has, perhaps fittingly, cloud gray, like storm cloud gray skin.
Yep.
And he has like a tuft of blue hair, sky blue hair.
Yep.
And he's got very sharp fangs on where his canines are.
Okay.
And he's currently looking over his desk, looking down at something on the desk and laughing maniacally a little bit. Also by his side, there is a massive haft of wood, on the end of which is an iron spiked ball. Basically, this is a morning star fit for the size of a giant. It's taller than we are and thicker around than we are,
So it's a tree with a massive chunk of iron on the end of it
with spikes.
with spikes. All right.
And we can hear with the also some shouting from this room opposite us from the window,
Shipping of
like cries, basically, like almost like muffled crying. Is
like orcish crying.
quite possibly.
Okay. I land on the sill of the window.
Yep,
Make room for you.
yep. So I come down.
Should be plenty of room for us.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for us, and then we need to un. We say the word, the spell command, and the rope unties, and we pull it in because
Gargoyles will be coming.
yes, probably soon, which means we might want to find a place to hide.
How far to the floor?
Um, yeah. So we're basically standing on a windowsill and looking down. It's probably at least, a good 40 or 30 feet.
So we have choices.
Yeah, we could reuse the rope.
That'll take time.
Yeah, or we could jump and cast Featherfall.
Or we can just jump and take the damage.
Yes. There is
And
other furniture in here that I didn't feel the need to place, by the way. So there's also obviously kitchen stuff.
is there something soft landing beneath this window?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, Featherfall it is. I have it prepared.
All right, so we jump and you cast Featherfall.
Yep.
I'm going to ask you to make a stealth check as you cast the spell.
Oh, in that case, I'll use. Oh no, I used all my meta
You used
magic.
both your meta magic points, didn't you?
Yep, I did. That'd be 19.
Okay. The giant seems very engrossed in whatever he's looking at on the desk and laughing. And he doesn't seem to notice us as we float gently to the ground.
Okay. And then I guess we better find a place to hide.
Yes, so there's plenty of furniture here to hide behind. It's all bigger than we are.
Yeah. The Golden Voyage of Sinbad comes to mind.
Yeah.
Just watch out for falling daggers.
Yeah.
All right, stealth check. Oh no, I'm rolling well now.
I think you're mixing up those Sinbad films, by the way.
Eye of the Tiger, sorry,
Yeah.
yes.
All right, that's a middling roll, but I'm good on stealth, so that's a 16.
Okay.
What'd you roll?
Um, 24.
All right. We hide basically beneath the one of the areas in the kitchen where one of the things is set up for
22.
hiding. Do we want to try and take a look at what's going on over there?
I think the easiest way of doing that without actually sticking our necks out, I'm going to resummon my owl,
Yep.
because she's tiny
Yes.
compared to him. I'm going to have her fly up near the ceiling, and without going past the back of his head, just fly up and look down and see what he's doing. Like, I assume he's tormenting some poor something.
All right. In that case, there's going to be two rolls you need to make here. The first is a stealth check for your owl.
Yep. Wow. Where are these numbers earlier? 22 for stealth.
Yeah, that will do it. And now a perception check for your owl.
That'll be a dirty 20.
All right. On the table, you see an ornate box.
And I'm looking through her eyes.
Yeah, you're looking through her eyes. It's similar to this box here, except it has a glass lid.
Okay.
And it fills most of the table, which is really long. So
Yep.
it's pretty massive, and the giant is looking down at it and with glee. And basically, your owl looks in there, and it's basically a maze with a glass lid.
And what poor orc is in there? What is he being chased by?
And one of the orcs, well, there's an orc in there.
Yep.
His weapon has been taken. You notice it probably wouldn't do him much good against the. But anyway,
Yep.
and he's being pursued by a long, almost. It looks like a serpent-like creature, except it has legs. And it brings to mind almost a creature with draconic ancestry, but not a true dragon. Roll an Arcana check.
22.
All right, you're not entirely sure exactly the breed, but this is some sort of drake, some sort of lesser dragon descended from the ancient dragons of old. And clearly, he's domesticated it
Yep.
and is currently using it to hunt this orc through the maze and presumably feed his pet at the same time.
Yeah. Yes, he's invented television.
And he is enjoying this. For the moment, the orc is doing fine.
All right. I'm going to whisper to you. Honestly, I don't care about the orc, but this is not nice.
No.
But the only thing I can think of that we can do that might have a chance against this thing would be to polymorph him
All right, you can try that.
and then drop him from a very, 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 very long way up.
Oh, you mean like off a cloud?
Even more than that.
Are we going for the literal? fairy tale ending here now.
Yeah, time for the giant to fall off more than just a beanstalk.
Well, it's good because we don't have one of those.
Yeah, I mean, my spell save DC is not that high.
I do have portents.
Hmm. What's your portent? Highest one. The lowest one, sorry.
Yeah, that's the wrong way to think. I can give it a 2
That will work, unless he has some sort of legendary resistance.
or an incredibly high wisdom saving throw,
That's really high.
or magic resistance of some form. In that case, it would only be one of the rolls.
True.
Yeah. A lot of
Well,
factors we do not know about cloud giants.
true enough.
We do know they are innately magical, but from our contracts, we do not know if they have magic resistance or any of the other forms of protection you just described.
There are a bunch of things that could happen here, but if we're going to do anything,
Mhm.
this is probably the only thing that makes sense.
It's at this point we hear the flapping of wings
All right.
outside
Well,
the window.
yeah, there's more food coming,
Yeah,
more entertainment coming. We can wait a little bit.
yeah. And the three remaining gargoyles we saw
Yeah.
enter. And two of them are carrying the two of the sodden orcs.
Yeah.
One is being carried upside down, by the way.
Well, the
He's really
problem.
not having a good day. The third is carrying, well, basically the damaged and destroyed heads of its kin that we dealt with.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
before too long goes by, you may start twigging to something going wrong here.
All right. The gargoyle goes over and speaks in a bizarre language you don't understand.
Is it primordial?
I recognize it as Terran, the dialect of primordial of Earth, so I can understand it.
Okay.
Basically, reporting as ordered.
Yep.
The giant seems to take his back away from the momentary amusement
Yep.
and looks and says, "Ah, good, more." And
Yep.
"My pet is hungry." And says, and then looks at the other gargoyle and says, "These?" He says, pointing to the orcs, and they the shake their heads. And it's like, show me. And he lifts. Its head is very small.
Yep.
It's and it's examining it.
Okay. This could be interesting.
It says no weapon did this. He starts sniffing it. It says scorch mark, scorched by fire, I believe. It says magic was used on this. It says this is interesting. This is, however, so far the only thing you've reported to me are these orcs. It says, and they are bereft of magic, as they are of their survival instincts. He flicks the stone head off into the floor. It smashes when it hits the ground.
Yeah.
Says, well, we might have something more interesting, pray, for my pet. And where there is magic, there are magical treasures that I might be able to acquire. Says, this day gets more and more interesting by the moment. Says, but for the moment, we'll store these two with the rest. You two, come with me. You keep watch. Says, anyone with magical skill enough to destroy some of your brethren has the magical skill necessary to infiltrate my castle.
Yep. Well, he's not a stupid one.
No. And he stomps, and the entire room shakes as he
Yeah.
moves over to this door opposite us.
This door here?
Yeah, he takes from his belt a ring of keys,
Yep.
pulls it out, fits it into the lock, turns it, and opens the door. And those defiant shouts and screams that we heard from there get
Yep.
louder. Says, "All right, two more." Says, "I'll tend to them later." And he steps in, and you want to get close to the guy to make a perception check.
I'm not gonna move.
Yeah,
Mal's gonna be of out of this realm, but
yeah,
I will just have a quick look.
yeah.
7.
Uh, you can't really see much. You hear more there. You hear the sound of another latch being moved and another door being opened.
Yes, that
And then
seems
the orcs are lifted up and placed down into something and then re-latched and refastened. And then,
storage.
yep. And then the giant and the two gargoyles exit and the door is closed and locked.
Yep.
It says, all right then. It says, well, my pet might be feeding a bit better today than normal. As for you three, it says, wake as many as your kin as you deem necessary. It says, and search the outside the castle for our intruders. It says, if they're out there, bring them to me. If not, my pet and I will find them. The three gargoyles flap out through the window. It says, well then. And he walks over back towards the table. It says, this one is managing quite well for the time being.
Okay.
He says, well, you've earned a break then, I suppose. He goes over to fiddle with the box.
I assume there's partitions you can put in to keep.
Yeah,
All right. Apparently, he has some magical treasures somewhere.
by the sounds of it, or is at least interested in collecting it.
Yes, but the problem is the scale of this place is a problem.
Yes.
All right. Doors in general
Yeah.
don't, um, go all the way to the floor.
No, I mean I can look at the door to my room and there is a seam at the bottom.
Yes. That seam,
Yeah.
how big is it here?
It's probably going to be at least like three, maybe it might be even 2 to 3 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's huge.
that's huge. It's a huge door. Maybe not that. How much do you say the seam of our doors are?
Well, at most an inch, sometimes only half an inch.
All right. So it's probably maybe about a foot or so passage, I guess. That would probably what would scale up to, I guess.
Well, all it has to be is small enough for us to wiggle through. Oh, sorry, big enough for us to wiggle through. Problem is,
Hmm.
he's not going to keep his treasures in with orcs or whatever poor saps are in this other cage on the other side. Most likely, our choices are in places that we can't see yet. Well,
Yes.
actually, my owl did a flyby, so I'm sure I'm aware of this door and this door.
You're aware of all the doors,
Yes.
and based on the positioning, this one here at the end, the south of the picture.
This one?
No, this one at the very bottom.
That one?
Yes, we're pretty sure that will lead to where we saw the gate in the
Okay.
portcullis. So that's probably like an entryway.
This is the door that interests me.
All right. You will notice the fact that is quite close to the giant.
Yeah, I'm quite well aware of that. So, to deal with a giant, we're talking about something with probably more hit points than the dragon we took on.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but
Adult dragons are very, very powerful.
yes.
But yeah, you assume it's quite It's quite powerful itself.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's got magical abilities, then it is definitely something that is not to be taken lightly.
Yeah,
Could try polymorphing it.
you could.
If it fails, it's going to be alerted, but everything else I think of could probably alert it as well. I mean, we could turn invisible, sneak under the door, and then we're in a big room that we can't handle because it's just too bloody big.
Yeah. Well, this is the largest room we've seen at the moment.
Yes.
There's a lot of places to hide, lots of places to maneuver, especially as small as we are in this place.
Yeah. The other thing is do we really care?
Well, that is a bit of a question. We came here mostly out of curiosity and also because of this. And if we've satiated that or not, there is definitely danger to us at this point.
Yes. Don't think the danger is insurmountable.
No, but the question is, do we want to fight a cloud giant and possibly his pet Drake?
Ah, Drake's not a problem.
Hmm.
He's having a hard time catching an orc.
Yes, in a maze, which was designed specifically to for sport, I suspect.
Yes.
Well, he's seems like he's finishing up fiddling with that box, so we probably don't have long before he's done with whatever he's doing.
He's gonna go do something else. He may actually leave the room. So I'm gonna err on the side of patience.
All right, so we're not doing anything for the moment then.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here, gonna find a nice quiet spot, sit down, and see if he gets bored with that and head off somewhere else, maybe.
Well, he reaches into basically a drawer on his desk and table and pulls out, says, "All right, you've earned a break to send some refreshment. This is for my entertainment for this morning. I
Yeah.
have other things to see to." And he places basically two containers, which are really tiny,
Yeah.
in the box as he basically slides the glass lid back closed and pulls out the other side and says, "And as for you, my pet," he says, "I have more interesting prey for you to find. This thing is looks quite snake-like when he
It,
picks it up. It does sort of wrap around his hand a little bit. It does have claws, which is digging in, but he doesn't seem to mind and close it. We estimate this thing is probably about somewhere between 5 and 6 feet long.
oh, it's gotta be longer than that if it's wrapping around his arm.
Yeah. Well, no, around his hand, I said.
Yeah.
They bring this and says, "So you have a sniff around in here if there's anything you don't smell you don't recognize, and let me know." Says, "And if you can't, well, we'll just have to. Then my interest will be piqued even more." Says, "In the meantime," says, "I feel like a bit of refreshment myself." So he places the drake down on the ground, and it starts to taste the air with its tongue like a snake.
Okay.
He goes towards this far door on the
Here.
yeah, that one,
Yeah.
and takes out a key and opens it. And says, "Yes," says, "a bit of food and maybe some drink while I tide myself over." Says
Okay.
he's left his everything else there. The Morning Star, which appears to be the only weapon he has access to, as far as we know at the moment, is still by his chair.
Yeah. It's not gonna be of any use to us.
No, but he is for all the good it's going to do us as well. We think he's unarmed at the moment, at least.
Ah, 20 feet tall. He doesn't need armament.
Yeah. The Drake is smelling the air with its tongue and is going to try and see if it can pick up our scent as it moves around.
Well,
So at this point, we probably need fresh stealth checks. We're hidden, but we're trying to avoid it
yep,
catching our scent, basically.
yep, I got you.
So this is going to be interesting. What'd you roll?
24.
24. I rolled a natural 20,
Oh.
and so did the Drake.
Oh.
So I'm just going to have it and myself roll off here.
Okay.
All right, so I rolled higher on that one. Now there's the issue of you, because you rolled under a natural 20. You rolled 24.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a rare instance, I guess, where we need to use modifiers for this.
Yep.
So it's a group stealth check for as far as I'm concerned.
Well, what are the modifiers for the Drake? What does it get?
+4, which brings it to 24, which is what you rolled.
So we have to roll off as well?
Sure, I'll allow that because this is an unusual set of circumstances.
Because I get, if we're going to go by tiebreakers,
Yeah,
I have +6 on mine. He only has +4 on his.
they rolled a natural 20. Let's roll off again. This is a confusing circumstance here, unfortunately. What'd you
Uh,
roll?
oh, I'm not going with that number. Last point of luck.
Oh,
I have a straight 13.
it rolled a 1 this time.
Oh, the 2 would have been fine. Uh,
For the moment, we seem to be hidden. It is crawling around, sniffing and licking the air.
yeah.
The good news is, unlike a lot of other draconic creatures we've seen, this creature does not have wings. It appears to be ground-based.
Oh, okay.
So it is has a long serpent body, has four powerfully built legs, and lots of teeth, and a
Yep.
long tail.
Okay. Well, we are currently hidden.
Yes, for the time being. But we get the distinct feeling that this thing is probably evolved for the express purpose of hunting by its sense of smell.
It's going to be persistent. Yes.
Yes. And that still doesn't tell us anything about its master.
For the moment,
Which
that's
we
biding
also
our.
know from our conchecks who are known for their strong sense of smell as well.
Well, so
Not
far,
caught wind of us yet, though.
yes. Okay. This is bide our time for the moment.
All right, well, he's in the other room at the moment, getting a snack, I guess.
Yeah.
So I whispered to you, so what is the plan here?
That's the problem.
We could cause a distraction if we let those orcs out.
All right. What's our end goal? That's the problem. That's
Well, our end goal at the moment is adventuring and getting towards the Elven lands, which this is a detour from.
yeah, this is just a sideshow.
Yes, we
But
could leave at this moment if you really want to.
yeah,
I
we
can
could
dimension
leave.
door us out, and you can polymorph into a giant eagle. And then, unless the gargoyles pursue us,
Well, they can't catch a giant eagle.
no, we can probably escape. That definitely leaves the orcs here to be done with whatever it is, plus whoever or anyone else who might be in storage in those cages.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I don't know what's in here. They're just orcs.
The good news is all the caravan people got away.
Even if they are just orcs, that's
Yeah.
still not right.
No, it is not. This giant is definitely abusing its power and its size gives it, and its magic gives it to for its own amusement, just for its own petty evil, basically.
Yeah, but the problem is if we deal with the giant,
Yeah.
we have literally no way of getting all these people down to the ground. I'm not ferrying a bunch of orcs on my back.
No, and the only other option is to all jump and cast Featherfall, which I don't have prepared because I wasn't expecting to have to fly up into the clouds today.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have Featherfall prepared.
Yes, but that only works on up to 5 people, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so we can save 3 orcs.
I'm pretty sure I saw 5 abducted.
Yes.
One's in that box, and the other four are in that other room with who knows whoever else.
The thing is,
Mhm.
we're gonna burn through a lot of, I know, temporary resources. It's not like they're really gonna cost us anything.
No, but we are going to need to use an awful lot of magic to try and get them out of here, whether we fight this guy or not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right?
And you cannot polymorph both of them. Oh, you can actually.
I can polymorph both the Drake and the Giant.
No, I have polymorph for her too.
Oh. So basically, we can polymorph a whole pile of things.
Yes, we can. So technically, we could polymorph uh, both of us and two of the orcs potentially into giant eagles. Though the ferrying plan does actually have some merit now if you want to go that route. As
All right.
does the whole just throwing these two off the cloud. This is an unusual circumstance for us.
Yeah, I know, because the problem is, all right, this is kind of, first off, none of this really matters. This
No,
is,
I will say the only one that's going to matter to it all really is you, Mr. Goodaligned.
oh, they're all evil.
Well, we don't know the orcs are evil.
True. The way we've been playing our campaign so far,
Yes.
most humanoids,
Have free will.
we will, and they
Yes.
don't have to follow their racial stuff.
Technically, the giant also has free will, but we've seen how he's using his.
Yeah, yeah. There's no doubt he's evil.
Yeah.
He's
Technically, so are the gargoyles, but
yeah,
they're monsters. They
yeah,
have they have baseline intelligence as it is.
yeah, they don't count.
No, they're quite possibly magically summoned creatures.
As far as the Drake goes, he's just eating, so he's neither evil nor
Yeah, the
good.
drake is probably not intelligent enough to understand what evil is, so it's probably just a predator.
Yeah, he's just hungry.
Yeah. And while we're on the subject of morality, the Harpies are scavengers.
I
Yeah.
wasn't even thinking of them.
No, so we do need to come to a decision here pretty soon. Otherwise, I'm going to ask for another check.
Yeah, I wish we were going to fail eventually.
Yeah.
So he's in another room.
He is in the other room. He won't be there forever. Mostly because we are currently in his kitchen area.
Yeah,
That's where we're hiding.
there is a interesting possibility here. What
And
I
what
can
is it?
do is I can polymorph the Drake into something that doesn't fly. Well, I know it doesn't fly, but something small.
You turn into a mouse.
Yeah, have my owl fly it out, drop it, and there's no way it's going to survive.
Yeah, you can do that. We can start with that if you want.
And then I'm not sure what the giant's going to do when he can't find his pet. Probably go psycho.
Probably not be happy.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do that.
All right. So so the drake is sniffing around with its tongue out,
Yep.
snake-like. You turn around, you peek around from behind one point your wand at it, and I assume you're going to cast polymorph on it to see where this goes.
Yep. I'm gonna polymorph it into a little slow box turtle.
Your favorite thing to polymorph things into.
Well, that's because it's slow, easy to pick up, and small.
All right. So just to refresh, your spell save DC is 16, I believe.
Currently, yep.
Yeah. You do not want me to use any of my portents on this roll?
Mm, no.
No. Okay. This is the drake. This is less important because I can only do that once.
Yeah, I know.
And that's a natural one. The drake shrinks down into a tiny little box turtle,
Okay.
at which point its sense of smell probably becomes awful.
Owl out.
Yep, you
Yeah.
summon your owl because it was unsummoned.
Yep. I say mentally.
Mentally, yeah, because you can
Yep.
do it with a familiar.
Fly out the window and take it to the edge of the clouds
Yeah.
and drop it.
All right, let's have a contested grapple check between your owl and the turtle, which I will look up stats for.
It doesn't even have a chance of fighting back here.
Everything has a chance, to be fair.
Does my owl get advantage because it is a flying predator?
Sure, why not? All right, turtle. Okay, it's gonna go with its strength because it's higher
Okay.
and it's terrible to skip. All right, so it rolled a 5.
Well, it doesn't beat my 21.
All right. Also, technically, I think that was for an aquatic turtle, but
Doesn't matter.
I don't think there are stat blocks for box tortoise.
No, they're very slow and clumsy, so
So your owl picks up the tortoise, flies it out the window,
full speed
full
toward the edge of the
speed.
clouds.
I'm going to see if any of the gargoyles notice this.
Yeah.
You hear a cry outside of one of the gargoyles.
Like, oh, I didn't do stealth for the owl.
Roll stealth for the owl.
17?
You still hear that cry. They rolled higher.
Okay.
All right.
Just feel that's
Yep.
all you gotta
Dashing
do.
until it's outside the. All right.
Yep.
So this is going to be a dexterity contest based on speed here. Let's bring up what the owl's speed is. It's been a while since we used your owl.
Yeah. At least for this anyway. I think it's 50.
60.
60. What's a gargoyle? 30?
60. They're the same.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, you're all right. However, so yeah, this is a contest. Your owl has a bit of a lead,
Yep.
and I'm going to give you this nothing. It has a higher dexterity than the gargoyles.
Yeah.
They're made of stone.
Yep.
It's an agile bird of prey. So yeah, we will have a contest now between your owl and the gargoyle that spotted it.
Okay.
So dexterity check.
Dexterity plane? 21.
+1.
Hmm?
+1 dexterity for your owl.
Oh, I was doing plus 3. 19.
That's its stealth. 19? Well, that beats the natural 1. So I had this in my mind as a skill contest, so best of 3.
That's a natural one.
That's 2 failures.
All right.
Uh yeah, your owl gets a massive lead.
All right.
So that's 2 successes on your owl's part,
All right.
we'll say.
Natural 20.
6. Your owl makes it over the cloud past the cloud, and I assume you want to drop the turtle now.
That was the instructions, yeah.
Yep. Now, were you inside your owl's senses for this? I don't think you could be.
No, I can't because I'm concentrating on
Yeah.
the.
So, at which point, uh, well, you don't know what's happening at the moment.
No, the owl comes back.
The owl comes back. All right. The gargoyle
Actually,
is gonna have one more chance to try and catch this thing then, as it comes back.
yeah, I don't know anything about what's going on.
No, you can unsummon your owl whenever you want, but you
Yeah,
do
but
not
I don't
know.
know when. That's the
No,
problem.
no,
I mean, I'm gonna estimate that it's not gonna take it long at all to make the turn.
no. Your owl is quite fast, quite fast flyer.
I'm gonna give it.
The castle is basically at the midpoint of this cloud.
I was basically planning on giving it like 20 seconds or 30 seconds and then just popping it
Right.
out.
So there will definitely be at least one opportunity for the gargoyle to try and catch your
All right,
owl then.
10.
13. All right, the gargoyle catches up your owl on the way back, and it's going to make an attack.
Oops.
Yep. And 9. Your Arvel's armor class is 11.
Whew.
It does have a multi-attack.
Oh, there goes two attacks. All right.
It it does. 16, I'm afraid.
Well, unless you want.
So, do you remember what hit points you rolled for your owl?
All right, it's on my sheet here somewhere, but this has been a long time since this came up.
Yeah.
Find familiar. Two.
So that's a total of 6. You feel your owl's earthly form destroyed as it leaves this plane.
Ah, gotta
I'm
cast it
afraid.
again.
Sorry. It was doing really well there.
Yeah, very well. The problem is I can't concentrate on two things at once.
No. Also, that also doesn't mean means you do not know if this succeeded or not.
I will know soon
Yes.
because when that thing splats,
Yeah.
the spell's gonna.
So, yeah, we are at least like a few thousand feet up in the air.
Yeah, don't bother rolling.
So, yeah, the box turtle has a hit point.
Yeah, unless you want to roll.
That's a lot of d6s.
That's
No, you know what? I know what the official rules are for this in Dungeons and Dragons, but this is terminal velocity.
oh yeah. You get
Like,
terminal velocity after 100 feet, let
yeah.
alone thousands of feet.
So,
The D10, D6 per 10 feet.
yes,
So
there's technically a rule, I think, that means it caps out after 200 feet, which is still a lot.
it's up to you.
No, no, that's fine. I'm making my ruling here. This is like physics in this game world notwithstanding. That's lethal. You created a perfect attempt to cover this. You've used it a few times, but still.
Okay.
I'm just using that as justification for not giving you inspiration. You've used this too many times.
Not that many.
I meant in a previous campaign too.
Ah, that doesn't count.
No.
That's a past life.
About, I think it would take a while for it to hit the ground.
Yes. But long before the polymorph spell itself would expire.
You feel your spell end
Yes.
without, so you think your plan worked.
I say to you, the thing is dead.
And so it was,
Apparently, I have to resummon my owl at some point.
those are the risks of sending familiars on these types of missions.
Yeah, it's just so ideal, though.
And at this point, we hear the door close and lock.
Yep.
Clearly, the giant has finished getting his.
He's going to be upset. Let's see what
Well,
happens.
he doesn't know yet. He's coming actually over this way because, like I said, we're hiding in his kitchen area.
Yep. Then we're going to continue to hide.
Yeah. He reaches up and pulls down a really big skillet style frying pan,
Yep.
which is a weapon in his hands for our size.
It's lethal.
Yeah. Like, imagine the size of the actual the cast iron frying pan that you have,
Yep.
and then scale that up a lot.
Yeah. Like having a.
He reaches off his side and puts firewood into the stove,
Yep.
which, by the way, is not too far from what we're hiding under.
Yeah. That's okay.
And he's got some sort of, well, it looks like salted meat in a basket, and he's putting it there. And there's a
Okay.
big carafe of something which smells like, I think, mulled wine.
Oh, I wish I actually did. Did I make another sleeping potion?
I
It wouldn't
guarantee
even work on a cloud giant.
I guarantee you the other version, the other half of that's not going to work. The sleep spell's probably not going to have any effect on this guy.
No.
I do remember you used it at some point.
Yeah, but I thought I'd made another one.
Check your character sheet.
That's what I'm doing. No.
Well, that rules out that plan, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. He's stoking the fire up and says, all right, this'll take a moment. He starts putting, well, basically slices of salted meat of some sort.
Yeah.
From who knows what creature, which is this size.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's not an orc.
no, it's also probably not a pig or a cow. But
No.
we do smell the sound, we do smell the familiar smell of meat grilling on a skillet.
Okay.
So clearly he's making himself some lunch, I guess.
Yeah.
He gets down a big goblet from one of his cupboards and pours wine into it. It's a rather ornate looking goblet, but like everything else around here, it's well crafted but old.
All right.
And then he, in one big gulp, drains the goblet. At which point, consuming more wine in a single moment than probably the average human would consume in like
In
a
a year.
month.
Well,
If we just stay here, he might get drunk.
yeah. You will have to roll some constitution checks.
Yes, but not yet.
Yeah.
This is that's a glass of wine for him.
Yeah. One glass of wine, unless he's, you know, well, certain people I've known.
He's got a very high constitution. He's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, I don't know if mulled wine is more or less intoxicating than regular wine. I don't drink.
No, it's just spicy.
Yeah. Well, he enjoys the spice, apparently. Says, well, my pet, have you found them yet? At which point there was obviously no answer.
Yeah.
However, he doesn't seem to be too have noticed too much yet. Says, well, keep looking. He says he pours himself another, refills his goblet.
Yeah.
He also has basically a spatula and he's starting to uh, do something with it, basically cook the meat.
Yeah.
I said, well, we're fine for the moment, but we no longer have an owl.
We do not have
So that plan's falling apart, I guess.
or what?
We
Sorry.
wanted to drop him off a cloud.
Oh, well, no, that's easy enough to do. We both have polymorph prepared.
Yeah. Is that still the plan, or what are we doing now?
Don't know.
He obviously has a massive key ring on him, but the keys are probably be as big as we are.
We can't lift them.
No, we cannot.
If
Well, one of us does have a massive magical hand that could probably lift them.
if that comes down to it, I can open the doors with that alone. So
Well, I assume it's not guaranteed with doors of this size, but yes.
yeah. Well, I'm kind of hoping that he's going to roll really badly on his Constitution check if he keeps drinking.
Okay. Oh, just for clarification, this
Yeah.
door here on the north wall that we're basically where we came in,
Yeah.
that leads out to the courtyard that we saw.
Okay.
So if it comes down to that, we might be able to get out that way.
We have so many ways of getting out of here.
Yes. All right, let's speed this up a little bit. He drinks another goblet of wine
Yeah.
and still he's rolling low. He doesn't seem to be too concerned or too aware of what's going on at the moment.
Okay.
While he refills his wine from the goblet from the carafe, we don't the carafe is big, but so is the the goblet. We're not entirely sure volume wise here with how long until he has to refill that thing.
Okay.
He reaches up and pulls out a plate and reaches into, well, for all intents and purposes, a cupboard and pulls out, well, it looks like bread in his hands. It's massive.
Yeah.
And pulls out a massive wheel of cheese and a
Yeah.
knife.
Okay.
So he looks like he's going to be settling down for some lunch soon if we don't do anything.
I'm hoping he's going to take another drink and fail a Constitution check.
He says, "Well," he says, they might be hiding well, or they may just not have made it in here yet." He says to the room that's
Yeah,
even lower. He drinks another goblet.
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give him a Constitution check now. That's his third goblet full.
All right.
He's not rolling well, but I'd say it's enough for this point for him to succeed.
Yeah.
But you think he might
Well,
be getting a little tipsy?
all he has to do is beat his Constitution. Sorry. Uh,
No, there is a DC.
yeah, there's a DC, and his Constitution modifies it. Yes.
Yes. But the DC to start with was 10.
Yeah.
Next time it will go up.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you this now. He rolled a 12 total.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to have you waste
My
your.
only portent that it, well, I have two portents, but this is the only one that's going to be good for this sort of thing.
Yeah. So if he drinks enough, he could just pass out and fall asleep.
Yes. I mean, we can teleport out of here any point we want. So,
Yeah, like our end game here is a little.
yeah, well, all right. He starts, the meat is simmering nicely now.
uh,
And he's starting to slice into the loaf of bread and cutting off some slices of cheese.
Making himself some sandwiches.
Maybe. Says,
Yeah.
says, "Well, are you hungry, my pet? You have not eaten yet." Then again, the orc's break might be coming to an end. He's not drunk yet, so yeah. You think he's noticed that it seems a little quiet in here for the time being?
Yeah.
And he starts looking around and says, "You've never turned up food before." He says, turning around to the room, says, "Where are you?" And we think he's uh, clued in that something's wrong.
Oh well, our grace period is over.
Yeah. He is looking around the room at the moment. All right. The good news is he's not looking in our direction. Says, "What? Where have you gone?" Says he wanders over to the glass box and says, "Not. This is not here. This is not trying to get at your promised meal." Says, "You weren't in the pantry with me." Says, "You couldn't have possibly gotten in the other room." And he stomps over to the door and starts fiddling
Uh,
with the key.
this one or this one?
No, the one we saw him to go to before.
Oh, here.
Yes. No, the one where we saw the cages.
This one.
Yes.
Oh, he's getting closer to us.
Yeah. He was pretty close to begin with
Yeah.
at this point. We've basically been underneath his kitchenware stuff.
Yeah.
He starts fiddling with the keys and is having some difficulty, so we think the wine's having some impact.
Yeah.
And he gets at the key and says, "No, you couldn't have made it in here." He says, "Where are you? What is going on?" His temper is starting to flare. You think he's starting to not understand exactly what's going on.
Oh well.
He slams the door and locks it. Says, "The window? You couldn't have." It says, "Why would you go there unless they're outside in the courtyard?" It says, "Did you track them out there?" He goes to the door.
The big doors are
Yep.
besides there. Yeah.
Yes, it is a double set of doors too, and he unlocks it and opens up. Says, "Where are you?" He steps outside. So he's not in the room at the moment.
The problem is the scale of this place for us to run to anything.
Yeah.
It's, it's gonna take a while.
Yes.
Not like it's a room where we can cross it and be sliding under something and hiding again in a short period of time.
No, we could teleport into try teleporting to one of these other spaces with Dimension Door, but that's a bit of a waste.
That's a big waste. We
Yeah.
may need that to get out of here.
Yeah,
Gosh, that reminds me. Do I have to make sure I have? I know I have a scroll of dimension door, but I don't know if I have that spell itself prepared.
I do.
Might
He's
be
searching the courtyard at the moment, by the way. His search is obviously going to come up empty.
yes. I could make us both invisible.
Yes. That may not help because we know these things have good senses of smell. That he's starting to realize something's wrong here. He might start trying to catch unfamiliar scents.
Hmm.
There's food cooking, which he's left literally in the skillet on a wood burning stove.
Yeah, it's gonna start burning.
Yeah,
That'll peak over our smell.
yeah, and there's a lot of other familiar smells that might cover our scent, so that might help. But I guess the question here is, what are we going to actually do?
Yeah, the problem is, what is our end game here?
At the moment, we've just hidden in his kitchen.
Yeah. See, the thing is, there's no there's no real motivation here. All right, we need to do something.
Yes, because in short order, he's going to start searching in here, and he's probably a little buzzed at the moment from all the wine he's been drinking, but I suspect this panic might sober him up quickly.
All right, here's what I whisper to you.
Yeah.
Turn us both invisible,
All right.
and we are going to make a dash across here under this door. And I
Into
want
the
to
room
see.
he's just searched.
Yeah, he searched this room for starters.
Yeah.
And secondly, I want to see if there's anything besides orcs in here.
Okay.
So, below a third level spell, and then make a
We
dash.
are both invisible.
Yep.
I'm not going to bother asking to roll a stealth check here. He's not in the room, and he's making a great deal of noise outside.
All right.
And now we are just running towards that door.
Well, better hold hands or something so we don't get
Yeah,
lost.
that's fine.
And then see if we can wiggle under this door.
All right. It's going to take us, even at dashing, probably 3 rounds across to that door from where we are.
Okay.
All right. I'm just going to see if he's going to come back in that time or not. Yes. So as soon as we make it around dashing, and he comes back in and slams the door and locks it.
Yep.
He's we look over at him. He looks like someone who's in the middle of like stage of panic and also rational trying to make sense of what's going on here.
All
I'm
right.
going
Instead
to
of
I'm going to see if he can.
now we're going to slow down and be stealthy.
Yeah. No, according to that, not yet. He's like, what is going on here? Says my pet has never gone outside the castle grounds before, not for years. That's not when everything it wants is here. All right. So,
Roll stealth.
stealth, yes. With advantage for the time being because we're relying on sight and sound at the moment still. All right. What'd you roll?
23.
I have a 20. At the moment, that's fine because he's still using his passive perception at the moment. We're above that.
Well, I hope so.
Yes.
All right. My goal is to make it to the door without getting stepped on.
All right, we're now moving at half speed, so we're only going 30 feet around.
Yep.
So unfortunately, that means the distance we're traveling would go from 3 rounds to six, except we traveled full speed the first round.
Yep. So,
So 5 rounds. We're basically halfway across the room almost.
oh yeah, no, it's 3 rounds, which gets doubled to 6, but we already did 2 rounds. So
Well,
Right.
basically, I'm counting. We traveled full dashed and we moved and dashed and went full 60 feet the first round.
Yeah.
So it's about 180 feet to the door.
So we've already done.
And now we've done another 90. So yeah, we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if we want to go with this pace, it's still gonna be 3 rounds to get to the door.
Yeah. That's about right.
All right, what's he doing? Uh, Panicking. That's from a 2 to a natural 1.
All right.
He's not observing us at the moment. We go another 30 feet,
Okay.
60 feet to the door. Okay, he seems to be calming down now, mostly because his food is burning.
Yeah.
He moves the
Cover.
skillet
It'll,
off the stove.
it'll cover us for smell.
Yep. For the time being,
Yeah.
says says something's not right. Says and he goes and pours himself another glass of wine, probably to calm himself down at this point.
Works for me.
Yeah. We make it 30 feet. We can see under the seam of the door at this point.
Okay. Let's see if this has a good effect on him.
He downs the goblet.
Yeah.
So Constitution check this time. He's still sober for the time being, but again, it's getting higher and higher each time. And that was 17. The DC was 15 this time.
All right.
He's just clearing it by 2 both times.
One more drink, maybe.
Yeah. All right, now let's see if it seems to have a calming effect. And it says, "Someone has made it inside my castle without my knowing." Says he's just slamming the gauntlet down. Says someone with magic enough to deal with my gargoyle sentries. Someone with magic enough to do something to disappear my pet. Says and remain unnoticed under my own eyes. We think he's possibly cluing things together at this point.
Well, let's wiggle under the door.
We're at the door. We can make it there. We can get it underneath, but we need a dexterity check to do it quickly. All right. What did you roll?
6.
So did I. We're stuck at the moment. Both of us. We both, and now we're kind of stuck. Like, oh no. It's going to take another round at least to get through here.
All right.
All right. Says, well, let's see if I can pick up your scent or not. All right. So as you mentioned, there is burning meat in here.
Yeah.
So that is going to disadvantage and advantage will cancel out.
Yeah.
That is a 13.
Okay.
Working off our previous stealth checks, which I'm still going to go for the time being, he doesn't pick up our scent yet. I'm not
Yeah.
entirely sure how that works but I'm just going to go off that for the time being. All right. We need to get under this door.
Yep.
Another dexterity check to get under here. You rolled already?
5.
All right. I think just in wanting to get away from this now very angry giant, I think I'm going to use my other portent,
Okay.
which is a 17, which brings you up to 19. So I get under,
Okay.
and I'm going to try and possibly help you from this side. Maybe this will, now that one of us is out, I can give you some help here possibly next
All
round.
right. Roll at advantage for the next one then.
Yeah. However, we still have the giant's turn. Says,
Okay.
says, and he looks at, says, burning meat. Says, it's clogging my nose. Says, well, if you're hiding by magic, perhaps by magic I will find you. He says, and he begins speaking the words of spell and moving his hands in semantic gestures. I'm in the other room, so I can't really see.
I'll see if I can understand. Let's see what he's
Yep.
doing here. Um,
Arcana.
15.
Yes, because you've seen me cast this exact spell on Many occasions. This is detect magic.
All right. We've had this discussion. I don't remember which way we landed on it.
I get the distinct feeling. All right, now I just want to make this clear to everyone who's watching as well. I have looked on the internet for an answer to this question, whether detect magic detects invisibility. Given the fact that there's a see invisibility spell, which is a higher level, which is designed specifically to pierce invisibility, the argument I came down on is no, I don't think it would. Because there is an active spell, which the spell is meant to detect, but then it detects that, and you detect an illusion, and you use your action to sense that's an illusion school, and there's nothing there. Oh, something's invisible. I guess technically you could argue it detects the magic, but it doesn't let you see the invisible target. So it was literally about an hour's worth of research on the internet,
Yeah.
and the conclusion I came to is I think invisibility foils detect magic just because it's a lower level spell, and that was what I came down to. That is the invisibility.
Small problem though for us.
Small problem for what?
Us.
Us.
We're carrying a ton of magic.
True, there is argument that the invisibility spell might conceal that. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
He casts the spell.
Okay.
So
That's
for
his
the moment, the
turn.
30 feet around him, he can sense magic in. We're not in that radius.
Yeah. And I rolled with your help
Yeah.
a 20
All
dirty.
right. And with my help, you're inside the room now.
Yeah. Which is
He's
now
stomping around out there using detect magic to try and
big thick door we're on the other side of.
yes, and detect magic is blocked
A big chunk of wood.
by yeah, lots of barriers. It
Yeah.
only really works in the room you're in.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be our saving grace here. All right. There is a window in this room, as you can see, and
Yep.
light is coming in by it.
Yeah.
There are three massive cages in here.
What's in them?
All right. One of the cages, the one nearest the door,
Yep.
that would be the third one from the window.
Yep.
That has the four remaining orcs in there, whom the defiance is going out of them at this point.
Yeah. I was surprised it lasted that long.
Yeah. Well, when there were two of their five members that were brought up into this cloud that were not captured, they had a bit of hope still. Now, since they probably have used all their strength and effort to try and break free of here, you suspect that's probably dying down, at least for the moment. Or at least the fact they need to take a rest.
Yep.
The next cage, the middle one, is indeed empty.
Okay. And the last
There
one?
is something in the other cage. It is not a person.
Something.
Mhm.
What is it?
Uh, well, it looks familiar to us. It looks quite similar in ancestry to the drake,
Okay.
but it has wings in place of forelimbs. We encountered a creature like this in the Guildcrest tournament. It's a wyvern.
So I'm gonna look at it closely because we saw a wyvern on our original trip to Vern's Run way back in the distance. We saw it a couple of times.
Yes.
Same wyvern. Now that I have a chance to look at it.
That was a flying drake, which, to be fair, technically a wyvern could be mistaken for.
Yeah, so it's not the same creature.
Roll a nature check.
Nature I don't have. 11.
I have nature. Let me give it a look. All right. 19 on my part. Between the two of us, we do remember seeing that flying drake. We saw it up close. You scared it off with an illusion.
Yeah,
And we're in the relatively same area. This might be the same drake, which means this isn't a wyvern, obviously. It's a bit smaller.
yeah.
However, they're similar enough creatures, and the flying drake or the winged drake would be a bit closer to, again, a bit more snake-like than the wyvern in appearance. Could be it. We didn't see it on the way back through. Apparently, the giant has somehow captured this and might be trying to domesticate it the same way he did the other Drake.
Mhm.
Given the fact it's in his cage, you suspect he hasn't succeeded yet.
Is this window open?
No, it is closed. It opens and you can open it, but it is closed at the moment, as are all these cages.
All right. The cage with the wyvern in it is locked.
Yes.
Where's the mechanism?
The latch is on top.
Which is how far up?
The cages actually are smaller than everything else here. It's a 10-foot cage.
Okay. I'm gonna climb up on top of the wyvern cage.
Right? There's no. I just like a stealth check to see how quiet you can be because you are climbing on the cage of something that a potentially hostile creature is in.
Man.
Also, we have a giant in the other room.
Stealth would be 19.
Okay.
Unlikely to have a passive perception of 19.
No. The giant, however, would be actively searching at this point.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah. But that's fine. You don't think you alerted anyone. All right, you're on top of the cage now.
I want to look at the locking mechanism. Does it look complicated? Is it something I can pick open?
It's not very complicated, no.
I'll attempt to pick the lock.
It's not really a lock. It is like a latch.
Oh, well, it doesn't really need to be too complicated, I suppose, for a wyvern.
No. And it's the orcs, which are taller than the average humanoid, and are probably taller than us.
Yeah,
Still a good 3 feet, probably more than 3 feet above them.
yeah,
They
but
could
they've
climb up to it. Also, the thing about this latch is it's meant to be complicated to be so you can't get it open from the inside. It's meant to be open easily from the outside. It's
nope.
just heavy.
And I open the wyvern's cage. How's that?
You can try.
Yep.
It's definitely going to be a strength check to try.
No.
I'm sorry, this is a big, heavy iron latch.
And now all of a sudden I'm a tiny little 2-inch tall princess trying to open up a bloody cage.
See, we keep coming back to those Sinbad films. Running theme for our campaign.
15.
That is exactly the DC you needed to beat.
Oh, all right.
You unlatch it. And I'm going to say you can open it if you want to.
Yep.
In which case, there's going to be a flying drake, which is probably going to fly out of here in quite a hurry.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go yet at the moment.
Yeah. All right, you open
I'm
the.
hoping it's gonna try and open up the window.
It might try and break through the window. It doesn't really have opposable digits.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
no, I'm
right,
fine
you
with it.
open up the cage. The drake has an intelligence of somewhere close to an animal.
Yeah.
It sees the cage open. It doesn't really understand why it's open all of a sudden. And for the
Well, it
moment
goes
seems to
in.
be paralyzed by the indecision for the moment.
Yeah.
The orcs also see you open, well, see the cage open
Yeah.
because suddenly they hear it and see it like, what's going on?
Are they speaking common?
Uh, no, this is speaking orcish.
Yeah.
But you do suspect that most orcs speak common, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna expose my
no. So you're not
intellect
saying anything.
to the to orcs. All right, I am going to hop, hop, and go over to the orc cage.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. It's not that far of a jump.
Same lock.
Yes. All right. I'm going to see what the Drake's going to do at this point.
Yeah.
All right. The momentary indecision has, unsurprisingly, in such a simple-minded creature, passed.
Yeah.
It flaps its wings and flaps up into the air. Now, the Drake is a bit smaller than the Wyvern we've seen, but it's probably with a pretty big wing size, it's only a bit smaller than the hunting Drake we just dealt with outside.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, this is a big room. But this is still a massive creature that's going to be generating a lot of noise and wind in this room because as it's displacing air as it flaps its wings in enclosed space. It's also not going to be quiet.
Not very bright, huh?
No, no, no. I'm pretty sure I remember this thing having an intelligence of 3. You were on trying to open that latch.
All right. I rolled for 3 segments, and I'm unsuccessful for the next 3 unless something else happens.
Okay,
Because,
so none of those were successes.
sorry, my screen went blank for a second.
Okay, none of those
Uh,
were successes.
None.
All right.
So for
I'm
the
going to see if the giant notices this.
next 3 rounds, I'm trying to do this unsuccessfully.
Oh yeah, the Drake's causing more than enough noise.
Yeah.
Says, what's going on in there? He says, and we hear his footsteps coming closer. Um,
Small problem now. I just realized with my plan.
what? You're alerting him?
Well, no, he's got detect magic going. Once he opens that door, we're gonna light up like Christmas trees.
We are invisible. So again,
Oh, we're still working off that, are we? Okay.
it was the conclusion I came to.
All right.
I mean, otherwise invisibility is, I mean, I don't know. That's for the time being, I'm going to say I might give him maybe a perception check to try and detect the auras. I don't know. But
All right.
this is one of the areas of Dungeons and Dragons that is very gray.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, as we discussed the last time, I think we went over this. Detect magic would become very, very powerful.
Yeah. Invisibility would become far weaker than it already is.
Yeah.
And it
All
would
right.
almost eliminate the need for sea invisibility.
Yes, a much
I
higher.
think I'm going to stick with that, just for that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nevertheless, he's probably still going to be figuring out that something's going on in here.
Well, yeah. I'm hoping that Drake is smart enough to panic and try and crash through the
All
window.
right. So the Drake, we'll come to it now.
Yeah.
Yes, it recognizes the sound of the giant's footsteps.
Yep.
The door's closed. It
Yep.
sees the window.
Bug on a windshield.
Not with a natural 19.
Whoa.
All right. Let I need no, I need a D10. Let's see how much damage you're gonna do to this thing. It slams into it and attacks with its talons.
Yep.
With enough force, cracks actually start forming in the window. It hasn't broken through yet,
Yep.
but that was a lot of damage.
All right.
Another hit like that will probably do it.
All right.
The giant hears us and says, "What's going on in there?" His footsteps are getting closer. He's probably dashing here. He's going to have a lot easier time crossing this room than we did.
Yeah, he's a little drunk.
Yes, he also probably was moving around out there, so he may not be in as good a position.
True, and
We have
yes.
another round at least.
Yep. Come on, Drake. I'm trying to rescue you here. Get out of
Yep.
the window.
Well, the Drakes, we're going to come to you. So you failed the next one.
Yep.
All right. We'll give this to the Drake. I'm keeping an eye on things at the moment and an ear out.
Yeah.
We'll come to a perception check on my turn. That's a 3. That's an actual 3. That it doesn't get enough purchase to damage the window.
Yep.
All right, I'm listening. The 13. He's getting closer, but I think we might be okay for now.
All right.
We hear the giant's footsteps. He doesn't get here yet. We think he might have moved to the other side of the room.
All right, Drake. Do it.
Yeah. So this is the third check you did, which was the failure.
Yeah. Third failure.
So from here on out, you're allowed to roll again.
Yep.
All right, that's over 20. That's 21. And more cracks, but it wasn't as big of a hit as last time. Not enough damage.
Okay.
One more hit should do it, though.
Okay.
All right. Like I said, he's getting closer. I suspect he'll be at the door soon. We hear his footsteps, and we do actually see a shadow getting closer through the crack in the door.
All right. This round, I actually succeed at opening the cage.
All right, you open the cage. The cage for the orcs is open. They
Yep.
see it open. They seem flabbergasted at the moment. They also can't fly.
True. But they could do what I did, hop from cage to cage
They
and
have to
jump.
climb out first, yes.
Yeah.
It's again, these cages aren't as easy to get out of when you can't fly.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate fact.
That's fine.
The
Oh, so
giant is at the door. We see his shadow looming underneath. This will be the last round before he's in the room.
all right. I don't want to be up here anymore.
Yep.
Climb down the side of this cage and rejoin you.
All right. Easy enough to do. The Drake is going to make its probably final attempt. That's a hit.
Yeah.
More than enough. The Drake smashes through the window.
Hey.
The sound of shattering glass, which goes outside, and then the Drake's cry of relief as it flies out into the air, which it probably has been missing. The orcs, seeing this, rally and start climbing up the cage as fast as they can. They're,
Idiots.
huh?
It's an idiots.
They're not going to be able to make it out
No.
in one round.
Nope.
We're hidden.
Yes.
Basically, we're hiding so that when the door opens, which opens inwards, we'll be behind it.
Yeah.
The giant is at the door. We hear the key in the latch turn, and the door swings open like in a slam. The door comes pretty close to us.
Hey, total party kill.
No, it's well, actually, we should probably roll a dexterity saving throw to see if we can avoid getting hit by this.
Oh, I wouldn't hide. I wouldn't hide behind the door
Yeah,
if the hinges weren't big enough to, that
we're
there
fine,
was.
I think.
Otherwise, it'd be suicidal
Yeah.
because this door is huge.
The giant enters the room and starts looking around, sees the broken window and the cold air flowing in,
Yeah.
sees the open cages, sees the orcs, one of whom is currently just making it to the lid, and sees the giant enter. And we hear what sounds like a curse in Orcish.
Yeah.
At which point, the giant, seeing this, is just, for the moment, he's momentarily stunned.
Yeah.
Because everything seems to be going wrong for him today.
That's part of the plan, really.
What?
That's part of the plan,
Yeah.
really.
And I say to you, all right, now what?
I don't know.
We're making this up as we go along, which is not our strong suit.
Yeah, I know. Well, right now we're behind a door.
Yeah, the thing, and he's in the doorway, so
Yeah.
it would be really hard for us to slip out at this point.
Especially now we have to wiggle under a door.
Mhm.
Man,
Yeah, we didn't do too well at that to begin with.
no.
All right. The giant sees the orcs and moves over to the cage and says, "Oh, no, you don't." He picks the cage up, which is, and shakes it to the point and all the orcs fall back in. And it latched and the lid and the door goes back on. It's not latched currently, but it is closed. And says he's going to he starts sniffing the air. The
I don't know. I think there might be some extra smells in here if you shake a bunch of orcs in a cage.
the burnt meat smell is probably no longer an issue.
Yeah, but I suspect some whatever undergarments an orc wears needs to be changed at this point.
I am going to have to ask for stealth checks then at this point. I don't know how you use stealth to disguise your scent, but we're just gonna have to roll with that. No advantage because this is not sight-based.
Well, that would be bad then.
Yep. So I have a 10.
So I have 9.
Well, that is lower than his 21.
Ah!
Says, I smell you. Says, you've caused me nothing but trouble. Says, I now know you're in here with me. And he slams the door behind him. It's not locked. Doesn't
Okay.
have time for that. But we are now trapped in a room with him, the cage full of orcs he's holding, and an open window.
Yep.
So,
He smells us, but he can't find us.
no, he smells our scent, which means he knows we're in this room at the moment.
Yep.
So, we should probably roll for initiative at this point, which is probably something you were hoping to avoid.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that's not good.
All right, what'd you get?
4?
Yeah, we're back to normal. I have an 18. And what did our buddy get?
A natural 20.
Oh,
I think he's unhappy.
yeah, I suspect he is.
The orcs have a 5.
Oh, they're in this. I didn't even bother with them. Not like they're gonna do anything, but sit there and hope not to get eaten.
They might try and escape.
True.
All right. It wasn't actually. I wasn't actually expecting you guys to get into combat or here, possibly. So I might want to write down your hit points. All right, yeah, these are 4 of them. One guy's still in that glass box.
Yeah.
And the cloud giant is up first.
Yep.
This could be a very short encounter.
One way or another, it's gonna be short.
All right. He says, his eyes are lit up with that arcane glow. He's looking around and says, like, I know you're in here. Says, this spell may not be enough to find you, says, but I have other options. All right. Yeah, he's just angry. He's going to. He doesn't have his morning star with him, so he raises his feet, which are bare, by the way.
Okay.
And he's going. Huh?
They're in a cage.
He's raising his foot.
He's holding a cage, lifting his foot, trying to stomp on us.
Yes, with disadvantage. Natural 20 and a natural 1.
Ooh.
He stomps on some of the shattered glass that managed to get into the room, apparently.
Yeah. He takes a minor amount of hit points.
He takes 4 points of piercing damage.
Woohoo! First damage to an inanimate object.
He's not happy. We suspect we just heard a curse in giant.
Cool. I will try and remember it in case I run into another storm giant.
Cloud giant.
Whatever.
That's his turn. I whispered in your ear, what are we going to do now? It's your turn. That's basically all I can do before my initiative comes up.
I think it's time to leave this room.
Okay? He has slammed the door, has one hand on it.
That hand's holding up the cage.
Yeah, basically under his arm. His foot now has glass in it and is bleeding.
Yeah.
He's not happy.
Well, we were hiding right at where the hinges were.
Yeah.
Safe. So basically, all we need to do is duck and slide under the door.
That was easy. We had difficulty with that last time.
Yeah, I recall. So, seeing I don't have to go far,
Yeah.
grab you by your collar,
Yeah.
take you over to this spot, and
Yeah.
then I'm wiggling under the door.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to drag me under the door.
Probably not, unless I roll really high.
No, roll a dexterity check. If you try to drag me under with you, there'd be disadvantage.
Straight dex check, 12.
Okay. Yeah, it's not terribly difficult what you're trying to do.
Wait.
You managed to get through this time, leaving me in here.
Oh, you're up next.
Yeah, no, the orcs are up next.
They're soiling themselves in the bottom of a cage, hoping not to get eaten.
Yes, more or less. My turn. I used my only portent of last time to do that it would work for this to get through the first time, so unless I want to step through.
No, I'm hanging on to you.
Give me assistance? You're gonna assist me?
Give me assistance, pulling you through.
Alright. That makes the difference. Well, actually, I rolled two good numbers this time. We're out at the moment. Whew. At which point, we are probably hyperventilating from... This is a bit much even for us, I think.
The thing is, it's the end game. That's the problem here.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, this is so out of our normal, comfort zone. We have a plan. We know what we need to do. There's things that need to be accomplished, and we go and we do it. But this is just curiosity.
Yes. Well, our curiosity seems to have gotten the better of us this time. We got us into a situation we may not be able to handle.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We haven't taken any damage.
Well, not from this yet.
But
Top of round 2.
We've messed with the giant.
Yes, thoroughly.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I really would love to polymorph him into a box turtle.
You could still try. Well, he's in the other room now. You don't have line of sight.
No problem. Well, I do actually. I just have to look down and see his foot.
He's also carrying a rather heavy metal cage that will probably fall on the turtle if you polymorph him into that. Yeah. In the confined space. The door opens. Says, "Did you really think I wouldn't notice you left?" We're now off to the side. He steps out. Kind of limping because he still hasn't taken the glass out.
Still carrying the stupid cage.
Yeah, he picks it up and he's going to throw it by the looks of it.
Ooh, poor orcs.
Alright. Before I even have to worry about rolling an attack roll at disadvantage, I'm going to roll a direction he's throwing it. Okay. Apparently he does have to. Apparently we do have to be concerned about this.
Oh, really?
Basically, this corner room here that has like a circular area here.
Okay, so we came out.
Yeah. We then went towards the wall.
Yeah.
He's throwing in that area. Let's see if he... Yeah.
Okay.
There is a chance that if it ricochets, it might hit us.
Okay.
So, disadvantage. Given the fact that he's throwing blind, in addition to that, I don't think he gets to add all of his amazing attack rolls here. All right, there is a chance that we're going to get hit by this.
All right.
You rolled a 13 to hit.
Okay, it doesn't hit either of us.
That hits me
It's you.
because I still don't have mage armor cast.
Okay.
A lot of things happen really quickly there, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
The good news is I'm not concentrating on this visibility spell.
Yeah, but you've also taken the most damage so far.
Yeah, the other bad news is, well, I have two choices.
The thing is here, what is the damage from shrapnel from a tossed cage by a cloud giant?
Well, I'm going to.
Well, it's definitely an improvised weapon.
It's an improvised weapon. It's a massive improvised weapon. So an improvised weapon is 1d4 plus its strength normally.
Yes, but this is not, you're not being hit by it, you're being hit as a consequence of it bouncing around or falling apart or something.
All right, I'm going to roll 2d4
All right.
without adding his strength. That's the damage I'm going to take.
All right.
4 and 1.
All right, so you take 5 points of damage.
Yeah. You hear me give a bit of pain as a flying bit of metal basically grazes my shoulder.
Well, I wouldn't see where you.
No, but you hear me, but that's what happens. I'm just describing for everyone else.
Okay.
Good news is, this is your invisibility spell. So I have nothing to concentrate on.
Nope.
He's not happy. The orcs, on the other hand,
are far less happy.
4 dexterity saving throws.
Yeah.
Fail. Success. Success. Fail. They take what would have been the damage if I'd actually been hit by this thing.
A D4 plus his strength modifier, what, +9 or something?
His strength isn't that high. There we go. All right. Oh, 2 1s. Oops. Nothing. Plus his strength, which is +8. They take 17 points of bludgeoning damage. So they're all on the ground and bleeding out and probably going to die.
All right.
Tangled mess of metal that the cage is now.
Yep.
So they're out of combat.
Oh, surprised that they were even in combat.
They could have maybe snuck out. Your turn.
Alright, I whisper in your ear.
Yeah.
This is the plan. I'm going to attempt to polymorph into something small. If it works, whatever, we'll figure stuff out. If it doesn't work, when your initiative order comes up, dimension doors out of here, please.
I understand. All right, so you're casting polymorph, which means we will be losing both our invisibility.
Yep.
Yep. So you bring out your wand and you cast the polymorph spell, and you unleash the strands of transmutive magic up towards him as we both become visible.
And I say,
And I assume you want me to use my portent here.
yeah, the portent we talked about, yeah.
So I give him a 2.
Yep.
So his wisdom saving throw brings that up to a 9.
That's some impressive wisdom.
He does not have magic resistance.
Does he have legendary resistances?
No.
He's a
Turn him
box
into-
turtle!
So for the second time today, you polymorph something in this place into a box turtle.
I walk over and I pick him up.
Yes, he is tiny.
And I look at him.
I was gonna write box turtle for condition
Yeah.
here.
Look at him and I say, I think your days of tormenting things are over.
At which point we all resume breathing normally.
All
Because
right.
for an hour, the most dangerous creature in this entire place is a turtle.
Yeah.
I said, okay, we're not technically out of the woods yet. There's still a bunch of gargoyles flying around outside.
Not terribly worried about them.
You have to maintain concentration on this spell.
Yes, I do.
Oh, there's also still an orc trapped up in that box.
Yeah. All right. As much as I would like to pillage this place,
Yeah. We
we
have
have
an hour.
we have something we need to do first, which is make sure this guy doesn't survive.
Well, I mean, if we throw him off the cloud, he's not surviving. Here's the downside.
Yeah,
We can't both be invisible now once we leave this place.
we can.
If we drink the potions of invisibility.
Yes, we have two options here. You can use your fifth level spell slot, one of your fifth level spell slots, sorry. Uh,
Polymorph both of us into something that flies.
yep, something like,
At which point we're basically, I suspect, just going to be flying away from here and not coming back.
yes. So that's one plan. The other plan is both of us drink a potion of invisibility.
Hopefully that we can sneak out of here, cross a moat with this guy and as a turtle.
Yeah.
And
Is there a way across the moat?
we don't know.
Yeah, see, that's a problem. Once we go outside,
Yeah.
gargoyles are searching for us.
Technically, I have a scroll of control water, but it'll be visible then. They're not
Right.
the fastest flyers. I think speed and outspeeding them and might be the better way to go if you're looking for asking for opinions. That does mean we probably are leaving this place behind.
Honestly, I mean, there's a on the map, I see it, and I know he's talked about magical treasures. He may have some stuff of interest
Yes.
that might be worth, looking into.
Yes.
The
We don't
problem,
know about that though.
the problem,
We don't know about that though.
well, we do because
Yeah.
he mentioned it,
Well, he mentioned that he's interested in magical treasure.
and I assume that he's been collecting.
Yeah.
But the problem is everything here is on such a large scale, short of polymorphing into a giant ape.
And breaking open the any treasure chests we find.
Yeah, we really can't deal with anything here.
Yeah.
So unless it's on a shelf, you know, well,
Well, I mean, I know we have all the time in the world here, but we don't really. So,
well,
decision time.
and he's the primary concern.
Yes. We
So
will not likely get another chance at this.
true.
Yeah. I think my portent is what guaranteed him turning into a turtle this time. We will not have that chance luxury a second time.
Yeah. All right. So we do have. It's easy enough for us to get. Is it easy? Did he even close this door?
He slammed it. He opened it.
Yeah.
He came through. So we have two windows that are open.
And we have an open. Oh, that's right. This one's open too.
Yes, that opens up into the courtyard, which the gargoyles seem to come in through.
Yeah. This one here opens up to the side and probably our fastest way out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
Want me to
Let's.
polymorph us into something?
Yep. Two giant eagles. One of them's carrying a box turtle.
Do we want stealth? Because giant eagles are not stealthy. Maybe there's something else I can turn us into.
No, I had to look through all the stuff. The best thing is giant eagle. I mean, owl will be fine too, I
Yeah,
suppose.
that's the one thing I want to check 1 second because this is my spell all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's the first time you've cast it.
I know I cast it last time. I turned one of the night hags into a snail.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Giant owl. Oh, okay, that's a bit of an issue.
What?
Their speed is the same as the gargoyles.
Giant eagles are 80 fly speed.
Yeah, the owls have a 60 fly speed.
Yeah.
All right,
They're-
fine. We're giant eagles. I take out the cocoon from my component pouch and I repeat the same spell you did. And at fifth level, I polymorph both of us into giant eagles.
uh,
At which point we have to pick up the turtle again.
I pick up the turtle. We
Yeah.
hop out the window,
All right.
and then
I
we.
communicate to you because we can communicate. Giant eagles have a language
Yeah,
that since you're carrying it, I should run interference.
sure.
Yeah, I think.
Mind you only have 26 hit points.
Yes, I know.
All right. Plan is just straight to the edge of clouds.
Yeah. We should probably go back an image so we can see the cloud island again.
So we will be coming out this
Uh,
side.
uh, no,
This
the
side?
backside actually.
This side?
We went in. Yeah, if you look back to the other image, the window's in the north side of that image, and this one's on the west. So we're coming at the backside.
All right. We're just heading straight to the edge.
Yeah, we're not being stealthy. We're being quick.
Yep.
180 movement. Sorry, 160 movement around.
Yep. And they have to first spot us,
Yep.
and then
Unsurprisingly, the gargoyles do spot us.
no, they have no chance of catching us.
They fanned out, and yeah, just gonna give no, no. That's a three.
Yep.
They have no hope of catching us.
Yep.
Within 3 rounds, we are away and over the cloud, out away from free from the cloud now.
Yep. And then they're gonna start gaining some altitude.
Oh, you're going up even higher.
Yep.
All right, I follow suit.
Yep.
How
Do
high do you want to go?
doesn't matter. Once we're away from there, it's all that matters, really.
Okay.
Uh, ah, good mile up.
Okay. Once we are about 100 feet away from the clouds, the cloud island,
Yep.
the gargoyles do not pursue us.
Okay.
You presume they have some sort of instructions that keeps them performing sentry duty, basically.
Then
You do notice that the fact there were 10 of them out there, in addition to the three we saw before. So he had a total of 12 gargoyles under his command, by the looks of it.
cool. Do giant eagles speak common? Actually, it doesn't matter. It's my brain. If I can speak at all,
Giant eagles have a language.
yeah.
We understand common and Aran, but we cannot speak them. Giant eagle is the only language we speak.
So I can't speak it because I'm actually a human being.
You don't have the larynx for it, unfortunately, at the moment.
Right. I'm gonna do a little acrobatic maneuver here so I can hold my talon up, and I'm gonna look at him straight in the eye, and then I go.
You see a look of absolute fear on the turtle's face before it falls.
Yeah.
It actually makes you feel a little bad inside because it's a turtle at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not going to be when it falls.
Nope. And I'm gonna keep concentrating on that spell because he may know Featherfall or some other ridiculous spell, and I don't want him
You
to.
do remember from your Arcana check that they are skilled in magic, especially spells related to air, and they can magically fly.
So I don't want to give him any chances here. So
The good news is you can maintain concentration on that spell for probably like 58 more minutes at this point.
yeah,
Yeah, you can maintain concentration on a spell even when you are polymorphed, obviously, because that's how the spell works.
yeah. But my concentration check is really bad compared to what it is normally.
So we wait here for a while because we flew up into the air. About a minute later,
Yeah. He makes a big dent. Well, actually, no, he doesn't.
well, he's going to make a big he's going to make a big splat.
Yeah.
At which point we do see at the very base with our keen eyes and you no longer have to concentrate on your spell because it's expired.
Well, he was not nice.
At which point we hear a rumbling sound.
Was the castle gonna fall? I turn around.
We look around at the clouds are starting to dissipate, and the
Yeah,
castle is shaking and the water is falling, and the harpies are fleeing.
yeah, I bet.
The gargoyles are flapping in midair because they don't really understand what's going on. We see even there's like there's glow around them which is dimming.
Oh
All
wow.
of the magic in this place seems to somehow be tied to him.
Okay.
So yeah, in short order, the cloud disperses. The rocks and the nests fell. The harpies have managed to secure any eggs, fortunately.
Yeah.
The water in the moat splashes down first, and then the castle falls.
Oh, there's one unfortunate orc in there.
Yeah. So do the gargoyles as the elemental spirit that animates them ceases,
Yeah.
and they return to just being statues that fall. At which point the castle and well, everything falls at the same speed, but
Yeah.
when it lands, there's a massive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a meteor hit.
I was about to say it's not quite like a meteor from outer space, but it's not going to be small.
No, it's big. It's gonna leave a big crater. There's going to be nothing left of that castle.
No.
There's going to be nothing left of that orc, and there's going to be nothing left of anything inside it.
Well, we've had
Unfortunately, I think there's even some degrees of damage that magic items will not survive.
we've had this discussion so many times,
Yeah.
and we've always decided that magic items can't be, just broken. But it's okay. I don't really want
This
to.
is I think we discussed under normal means. That's not normal.
No, that's okay.
So, yeah, all of that comes crashing down, probably causing a fair bit of damage to the countryside below.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a crater.
Yep. However, we can resume flying now if we want.
Yeah,
We can fly to a good spot to rest because we're probably going to need it soon.
yeah. Well,
Yep.
that was fun, but
Yes. And needless to say, I think we're going to call it there for tonight.
all right, we'll find a spot to make camp. Uh,
Yeah.
we'll resume next time our
Yes. With your session.
not exactly um, constructive, but enjoyable.
Yeah.
Uh, That's kind of funny.
Yeah, well, that's one way of dealing with a cloud giant.
Well, he is way up in the clouds. He did it to himself.
Yeah, I mean this. Just to be clear, polymorph is not always going to be the answer to every all our problems. There will be workarounds for that if necessary, if it gets out of hand.
It's a good spell, but
Yeah.
it was just I mean, this situation led to this,
Yeah,
really.
they did.
I mean, I've only dropped one other thing, I think, right, so far.
Well, now you've done it twice more, so it's fine. And yeah, and one of them was a giant. So
Yeah, kind of hard to live up to that one after this, anyway.
all right. So without further ado, thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please join us here again next time as we continue our adventures towards the Elven Land, and we're going to see whatever you have in store next time, which I somehow doubt is going to top you dropping a cloud giant from
Turtle.
the sky. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, just before we cut break, you can have inspiration for that.
Hey, I got it back.
Yeah, because that was absurd, even though I facilitated it there.
Right
Good
on.
night, everyone.